Good day, everybody. We're back, and today we're going to change the oil on a 51 Mercury flathead. Say hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Let's go ahead. We've warmed it up already, so we're going to go ahead and pop the hood. And we've got all our stuff over here. We're also going to put a fuel pump in it. We've got everything to do that. We're going to break this up into 2 episodes, just so it's easier to watch. They're a little shorter, and you get what you want out of it, and then you can watch the other one if you want to. We've got a new filter for this old girl. Prior to 1949, I believe, they didn't have oil filters on them, so this one does, and thank God for that. And we've got our 2050. This has got zinc in it. This is for older engines, and it's a real good idea. You kind of have to use this stuff. That or straight 30 weight, as long as it's got zinc in it. But this is a good oil. It's made to run in these cars, and that's what we're going to use. It's a little bit more, but it's well worth it. So let's get started. Go ahead and open her up here. And there she is. There's our beautiful flathead engine. Isn't she gorgeous? And this canister right here, this is our oil filter housing. It's mounted to the engine right on the cylinder head here, and it's on a bracket, and there's an oil line runs down through it, feeds it. And that's where we're going to put the filter. Well, let's get started draining it first. Go ahead and take the top off the filter housing. It'll just help it drain a little better. Put some air in there. That's a long nut. It's a big one too. Yeah, make sure you get the seal. There you go. And it's still in there. And we have a new seal for this as well. If that one's good, we might reuse it. And there's your filter. You see, there's a little handle on this. You guys can see that. Grab onto her. Ooh, it just comes out of there. Wiggle it a bit. There she is. There's our old one. This is our drain plug here, and boy, she's a big one. I don't know what size that is, but it's rather large. Oh, yeah, everything on this car is big. Okay, just break that loose. Just like that. Oh, it's already loose. Good. Okay. She's gonna be warm, so I should put gloves on for this, but I never do. I'm glad you poured that for me. See how hot this stuff is. There we go. Try not to drop it in the pan like I usually do. That's one big nut. There we go. There we go.
Right.
Oh yeah, she's warm. She's warm. We got a nylon washer on there just to help seal it. I think that's a copper one. They're reusable either way. So, okay, we're just gonna let that drip out of there. You know, we could jack this car up, but there's so much room under here. You really don't have to. It's like this is a pretty thick pan, and I've still got clearance yet. Just slid right under there, and so did I. Okay. Starting to drip now, that's good. We'll just let her go for a minute and we'll clean off the drain plug. Go ahead and clean up the drain plug, and that is a copper sealing surface. That's good because it's reusable. It doesn't seem to be cracked. You gotta check for that. This car doesn't leak though. We haven't had any drips in the driveway. We've had it here for a few days, so that's good. So that's ready to go. There's no magnet on there, so no point looking for filings. Look for them in the oil, but I didn't see any. I didn't see any water or any odd colors either, so that's a good sign. She needs changing, but that's all. Seems to be very well maintained. And go ahead and pull this vent cap off. Just help her drain a little bit. Pretty trick piece, huh? That's pretty sharp.
Ooh.
I like that. We got our old filter out there. She's over here on the ground if you want to have a closer look at it. And there she is. That's what they use in these old cars. Isn't that neat?
Looks like a washing machine.
Yeah, looks like a washing machine. Yeah, something out of a diesel truck. Now you'll notice, if you look inside here, there's still some oil in there. Now, some of these external canisters, they had a little drain plug on the bottom. This one, do not. These were kind of an option, even in 51. A lot of them didn't have an oil filter at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out of there with this and put it in a coffee cup. Just like that. You want to check these for sludge or anything. These oil filters, or this oil bypass system is what it is. They don't do a lot of the heavy lifting and filtering the oil. They only do like 5% of the oil that circulates through the motor per cycle actually gets filtered. So they're better than nothing. Like I wouldn't say don't have one, but yeah, they're not like a modern car. Okay, now you can see we got all of our oil out. You know, you want to go in there and get a nice shop towel, and you want to make sure there's no sludge in there or anything, because this is where it'll accumulate. And when you drain the oil out of the pan too, check for sludge. And if you're getting buildup or anything in there, you've got to drop the pan and get that out of there if you want your engine to clean up. This one's really good. Like I'm just so impressed. There's nothing in here. I'm really wasting my time, but it's good to go in this every oil change and just make sure that it doesn't build up so that it stays in good condition. We wipe our sticker off. I mean, we can't have him all covered in oil either. And she should be nice and clean like that. It's ready for fresh oil. Okay, and when you check your pan, it's drained. Just stick your finger in there. You'll feel if there's any sludge. There's a little bit on the bottom. I can feel it. But it's not bad. But you want to try and get that out of there. And to do that, you have to drop the pan and clean it out. And that's just the way these engines are. The Model Ts were worse. You had to bring them in every few thousand miles for what they called de-coking. So we're going to put our fresh oil in. This one's not bad at all. It's been very well cared for. Some point down the road, probably end of the summer, we will drop the pan. You'll all get to see that too. And we'll clean it out completely. Okay, we're going to go ahead and place our oil plug carefully. Remember what I always say, if you feel any resistance at all, stop. There's something wrong. There we go. It should turn very freely and easily. Cross thread is not better than no thread. There we go, just like that. Just tighten that up by hand, and we'll give her a little quarter return with the wrench. All right, where's the socket? Right there. See that? Put that on there. And that's it. Maybe just a little more. And insert our brand new filter here. Just work him down like that. Oh, there she goes. Oh. There we go. Don't get your finger stuck in there. There you go. Just bottom that. Make sure she's all the way down. That's it. You don't really have to prime these, but I'm going to anyway. I'll put like half a liter in there just to make sure there's some oil in it. Just give her a little bit, just like that. Just get the paper a little wet. Just like that. Oh, did I get a drip there? You can clean that off. These are a bypass oil system, so it doesn't matter. It will eventually push some through here and back down to the motor. It really doesn't have much to do with what's going on in there. Take our old seal out. Some of this fresh oil. We'll go around that sucker. Just so it slips nicely when we install it and it doesn't tear it up when we tighten it down. We're just going to give that a little bit of oil all around both sides, just like that. They're nice and wet, won't hurt nothing. You use the old oil if you want, it doesn't really matter. The oil we pulled out of this is real clean. That's a good sign. No funny colors, and you didn't see any antifreeze or anything there. That's a good thing. Go ahead and install that in the cap, just like that, and we're ready to go. There we go. Just make sure it's on there properly. You get both sizes. We don't need this one. This is for another model. Clean that off real good. Before we put this sucker back on, we're going to give her a fresh coat of flat black. Let's give that a little scuff. Get any of the flaky stuff off. There we go. Clean as you go, people. Shake that up a bit. I mean, for what it takes, why wouldn't you? There we go. Just like new.
Beautiful.
Put that back in there. Should have noted there's like a little copper gasket washer, whatever you want to call it, helps seal it. There's you know, this thing's got really good oil pressure. Actually, she runs warm at about 35. If you're moving, it's more than that. So you want to make sure this is sealed really good. Don't crank it right on, but don't be shy to give it a little bit, eh? Just like that. And just make sure it's sealed, because it'll leak and you'll get oil all over the place. Just like that. That's good enough. That's all she needs. Now we're going to go ahead and add our fresh oil. Are you ready, Sarah?
Can we use the Harley Davidson filler funnel?
Of course we could use the Harley Davidson filler funnel. Put her in there. These flatheads. This is where you add the oil. Right there. Yep, get around that throttle cable there. Right on. Okay. Let's add the oil. Okay. And because this is the Lincoln motor and she's got the bypass oil filter on it, I believe these ones hold between 5 and 6 liters. What I've been told, and boy have I ever been told, because every old guy that sees this car wants to tell me, that might apparently overfill it. So we're going to start with 4, run the motor a little bit, and then add accordingly until she's full. We're not going to overfill it because we don't want to stress the seals. Like I said, she makes good oil pressure.
Well, Dad's changing the oil. I'll check out the old oil. See. It feels really good. There's no grit or anything. It's really smooth. Just dark. Just needs a change. There's no weird colors or any filings or anything. No antifreeze, water.
Check it. This is the last one. well, until we run the motor, and then we'll check it. We're going to move it around a little bit, and that canister, I bet, holds a liter by itself. Okay, now we're just going to check it, see where we're at. Let's make sure we're registering it all. Very carefully, trying not to get this all over the place. Okay. Even the dipstick's big. I swear this thing weighs like a pound. It's not springy at all. It's like a sword. You could probably like poke somebody real good with this. You whip them with it, boy, they'd know it. Okay, see where we're at? Oh yeah, see, there we go. We got 4 in it. We're already to the safe running line, but we could use another liter to fill it up. So that's just perfect. That's really good. We're going to start it, and we're going to fill up that canister or circulate it through the motor, and then we're going to check it again and fill it accordingly. But that's a good start. That's good enough to start the car and move it around a bit. So let's do that next. I'm going to put the vent cap back on just while I start the car. And this is actually kind of neat. People might want to see this here. I'll get a better light. Just hold on one sec. Now you can hook these up to a linkage in the car and run a choke cable. These are just so beautiful, these Strombergs. This is the choke on them. And when you start the car in the morning, if you haven't run it, if you've run it already, even some point during the day, you don't have to do this. But when you first start it in the morning, that's your choke. And they're just so gorgeous. I'm not going to touch them. I don't mind coming out, opening the hood, getting a look at this gorgeous piece of machinery every time I jump in it in the morning. Kind of makes me giggle. So I'm going to leave those alone. They have holes here for a choke cable and a linkage to join them together, and I'm not going to do it. This one has 2, this one has 1. That's where you join them together, and the second hole is to run it to the car. But this is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave it right the way it is. I don't mind a bit. Sounds like a happy Mercury to me.
Oh yeah.
Once you started it and run it for a few seconds, just turn them off. Doesn't that thing run like a dream? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Wow.
That's a 72-year-old engine. Keep that in mind. Check it again now. See how much we've taken up. It's really clean. It's hard to see. Yeah, she took up quite a bit. We're going to add some more. I'm pretty sure she'll take the whole thing. I think she'll have 6. 5 won't be enough. Do a final check here. You can see she's full. It's real clean.
Oh yeah.
That's great. Take that out of there. Replace your cap. Make sure your fins face forward for better aerodynamics and cool factor. Actually, let's wipe that off first.
Oh yeah.
Clean as you go, people.
That's how you keep it looking fresh.
Oh yeah. All right. There, that's beauty. Back on there. Just like that. Nice and straight. Collect your used oil. Any garage or recycling center will take this. And That's it. Well, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this was helpful to someone. We'll see you at the car show. What a beauty, eh? Take care, everybody. Have a good night.